Hey, what's going on? Ed Fletcher here, and I'm in front of the east steps of the Capitol. It's another night of Sacramento on lockdown or a curfew after protests in response to the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis resulted in protests of violence and looting in Sacramento. I've been on the streets with people trying to share what's happening, but I've also been trying to share some of my thoughts about what's happening and why, and so that hopefully people understand a little bit more about what's going on and trying to understand. So I wanted to talk today about this tension that's building, and the purpose of governments is to prevent the king from being torn from the castle. Or the government is supposed to provide for the people, and you create a government and you create levels of government so that you can connect with the people, receive information, take that information up, and adjust your operation of the government. Anybody who's played a community or a civilization building game knows that there's an unrest meter, and apparently the government hasn't been reading the unrest meter because it's been creeping up and up and up. And as we've gotten better and better pictures of African Americans and people of color being victims of the criminal justice system, the pressure on the justice system to change has mounted, but the change hasn't come. And so what you're seeing is this unrest keep building, and in Sacramento in particular, this is Stefan Clark 2.0. You had days and days of protest, people asking for change, asking for those cops to be arrested. Now, whether or not they should have been arrested is another matter, but the people did not see what they wanted, and they didn't see the level of systematic change they wanted to see. So they were ready to jump on this new opportunity to try to make good on those demands. But certainly those demands aren't just in Sacramento. We're seeing this across the country. I even saw my cousin in Prescott, Arkansas, population 7,000, on the corner of their town, asking for people to be the change. So this is mushroomed into something much bigger. And the crazy thing is that for too long, they tried to stamp it down. Kaepernick said, hey, there's a problem here. Let me take a knee to try to raise awareness about this issue. And the power elites in the United States decided to suppress that by blackballing Colin Kaepernick and eliminating that free speech among players. So you can try to tamp it down, but that unrest kept building. And so Trump now sees that they're coming to rip him from the castle. And once he got taken to that bunker on Friday night, his military advisors came in and said, look, sir, they want you out of here. And they're not waiting for an election anymore. But it doesn't just happen here. We saw that in the Arab Springs. The people were upset about the government, and obviously parallels there. There was ethnic tensions, or religious tensions, or people that were seen as other, and they were kept down until too many people felt like they were being suppressed, that they had to come to the streets. And then once the other country saw that, hey, if you protest hard enough, if you make it impossible to be governed, then you will get what you want, and that is a toppled government. So I'm not saying that we're asking for a toppled government, or people are asking for a toppled government. People are asking for change, and they haven't seen it, and they want it bad, and they're working to try to make that change. And some people are using the proper tools, and some people aren't using the proper tools. But you've seen from the Boston Tea Party to the Russian czars to the French Revolution, when people get upset for too long, shit happens, and it's not good. So now we've got tanks in downtown Sacramento, and they're hoping to suppress this. But suppression with military force doesn't work all the time. It doesn't work for a long time. It only suppresses it. So what really has to change is system change, and whether that's electing different people or changing policies so that people feel like their voices have been heard, and we're making better outcomes in the criminal justice system and the educational system for black and brown people in America. So that's what's going on. They're trying to tear down the castle, or they're trying to make change, and you can decide whether or not that happens. So I'm going to head over to the protest, and we'll see what's going on there. I heard there's a Physicians for Peace group out here. I want to see what's going on with them. I have seen a few kind of Trumpian people around here. I hope this doesn't result in problems. Turn the camera around. These two gentlemen over here just came by with their big dogs, wearing their backpacks, and they do not look like they are on the same side as the protesters. We'll see what happens with that. I also saw a guy running around here with a big truck and a American flag that's been desecrated with the whatever that blue stripe thing is. I don't think that's an American flag. Anyways, let's hope that guy doesn't act a fool. But we're gonna head over to the protest. We're gonna walk around some more. I'm gonna shut this down here, but I'll restart feed at an appropriate time. So thank you for following this. Thank you for hearing my message. And I'm on Patreon, and I'm trying to allow myself to do a little bit more of this independent journalism while still finding time for my other pursuits. But thank you for listening, and I will be back when there's more action. Thanks a lot.